hallway of the dance studio is lined with gleaming trophies, evidence of champions who came before. A vibrant poster catches the eye. K-pop One Dance Competition. Sign up now, with bold letters promising glory to those brave enough to compete. Inside the studio, the floor vibrates from the speakers blasting Stray Kids' La 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 La, and it moves every part of Moon's body on the dance floor. This is her element. As Moon seizes the dance floor, some of the students are unable to resist the call. The beat brings them all in sync, setting the room ablaze. Moon is magnetic, late 30s with honey-toned skin that glistens with a light sheen of sweat as she moves. Her long black and blue braids swing dramatically with every sharp movement, catching the light like midnight water. She has a toned dancer's physique, strong shoulders, defined arms, and abs that tell the story of years of dedication. But it's not just her body that commands attention. It's the fire in her dark brown eyes, the confidence in every gesture, the way she moves like the music lives inside her bones. Charismatic and commanding, Moon steals the spotlight every time. She was born to dance, and when she dances, all her struggles are cast aside. She is free. But her taste of freedom is short-lived. Suddenly, silence fills the room. The disgruntled instructor stands at the front, with sharp features hardened by bitterness. Her lips are pressed into a thin line of perpetual disapproval, and her cold eyes narrow with spite as she glares at Moon. She's fed up with Moon always showing her up. It's the audacity for her. "So, you think you can run this class?" Unfazed, Moon stares back, defiant, with an unwavering smile. "You know, I try." The instructor retaliates. "Aren't you about to be 40 or something? I'm just worried that your knees could give out." She smirks with spite. The onlooking students snicker at the statement. Her intention was to strike Moon where it hurts, but Moon was careful not to show that the statement pierced her unhealed, trauma-filled heart. "And you're too young to be this bitter." Unable to withstand the insult, the instructor screams, "Get out!" She played right into Moon's hands. "My pleasure." Moon gathers her belongings to exit the tension. The instructor continues, "And don't ever come back here." Blowing the instructor a kiss, she responds, "You'll see me again in your dreams." The room erupts in laughter. Not one to be mocked, the instructor yells, "Get in your positions now!" Outside the studio door, Moon slowly exhales. To people, she appears to have thick skin, as if nothing phases her. But the truth is, she's fragile. Yes, she wasn't getting any younger, and her dream of owning her own studio was fading away. She didn't grow up with money. Losing both her parents in an accident at 5 years old required her to always live in survival mode. She had to survive being bounced from one foster home to another after her grandmother passed away from lung cancer. She shakes off the pain and launches a text to her bestie, Isi, who she actually considers her sister. They've survived so many storms that nothing could dare separate them. Even with being polar opposites, they can read each other's minds. She had to see Isi. It's the only way she could decompress from the unnecessary drama. Meanwhile, Isi, ever diligent and professional, continued her presentation, disregarding the alert on her phone. After all, she was in her element. At 39, Isi is polished perfection. She has rich, deep brown skin that seems to glow with an inner radiance. Her long ponytail with bangs frames her oval face beautifully, the bangs softly sweeping across her forehead. She has striking features, high cheekbones and full lips that rarely smile in professional settings, but light up her entire face when they do. Her almond-shaped eyes are intelligent and warm. Everything about her screams competence and grace. She had always wanted to help people, and being an ethical, well-respected pharmaceutical saleswoman was the most effective way she could do so. Regardless of whatever challenges life threw at her, she would achieve her goal. And here she is with the potential cure to retinitis pigmentosa, an eye disease that eventually leads to blindness. She might not have created the cure, but she will make sure it reaches those who need it the most. Satisfied that she's gotten the message across, she wraps up the presentation. Thank you all for your time today. This is a revolutionizing drug, and because Sacred Heart is at the front of curing eye disease, I hope you will consider Toxin to move you beyond changing lives, to truly changing the scope of what medicine can do. The doctors offer an enthusiastic round of applause in response. While closing out the presentation with hopes of follow-ups, she shares her card. EC. She follows the voice to a vision of a man she knows all too well. Dr. Onye is striking with rich, deep chocolate skin that seems to glow under the fluorescent lights. His perfectly maintained shoulder-length locks frame a chiseled jawline that could cut glass. He has an athletic build, the kind of physique that speaks of early morning gym sessions and disciplined living. His smile is devastating, bright and genuine, revealing perfect teeth that contrast beautifully against his skin. But it's his eyes, warm, intense, and locked entirely on her, that make her pulse quicken. He moves toward her with the kind of confidence that comes from a man who knows exactly what he wants, each step purposeful and smooth. His locks sway with the movement, catching the light. Dr. Onye? Her voice comes out softer than she intended. Although he wasn't present for the presentation, he'd heard she was in the building. He ensured that she would feel his presence as soon as she wrapped up. I heard this drug might actually get you the award for Savior of the World. His voice is deep, smooth like aged whiskey, with a subtle Nigerian accent that makes every word feel intentional. She's never one to brag. It's always a pleasure to see you. Ever the professional, she closes her laptop and tucks it away. Aware that she's ever the professional, he scans the room to find that they are alone. A slow, knowing smile spreads across his face. Without permission, he moves closer and snatches her phone from the table with the playful audacity of a man who knows he can get away with it. What are you doing? Her breath catches as his fingers brush against hers. Trying to prevent her from reaching for it, he casually takes a step back, his movements deliberate and teasing. He calls her phone, his eyes never leaving hers. Ah, my number is still there. The satisfaction in his voice is unmistakable. He hands her back her phone, letting his fingers linger against her palm a moment longer than necessary. I've been busy. She tries to focus on packing up, but her hands are trembling slightly. And I'm not? He tilts his head, studying her with an intensity that makes her skin tingle. Silence fills the room, thick with tension. She wants to tell him what he wants to hear, but she just can't seem to give herself the permission. Can you at least be honest? His voice drops lower, more intimate. Letting go of her task, she gives him her full attention. It's nothing new. I told you before, I'm not looking for anything serious. The disappointment flashes across his handsome face, but he waves it off with that charming smile that makes her knees weak. And the kiss? It meant nothing too? He closes the distance between them in 2 strides, his presence overwhelming. She can smell his cologne, something woody and expensive with hints of sandalwood and amber. Her back nearly touches the table as he inches closer. She tries to take a step back, but there's nowhere to go. His scent, his proximity, those deep brown eyes boring into hers, she's completely captivated. Her mind flashes back to their date night, the way his lips felt against hers, soft but commanding, the way his hand cradled the back of her neck, the heat that had flooded through her entire body. She was hoping, no, craving, that they could repeat it. The air between them crackles with electricity. If anyone entered the room right now, they would feel the intensity radiating off of them in waves. I don't remember. The lie tastes bitter on her tongue. He carefully observes her, his gaze dropping briefly to her lips before meeting her eyes again. He knows she's lying. Liar, he whispers, his breath warm against her face. He's so close now she can see the flecks of gold in his dark eyes. His hand comes up slowly, giving her time to pull away, but she doesn't. His fingers trace along her jawline, tilting her chin up toward him. Let me remind you then. As he closes the gap between their lips, so close she can almost taste him, Isi's phone buzzes violently against the table, shattering the moment like glass. She gasps, reality crashing back over her. She takes a shaky breath to find her composure again before answering the phone, her voice slightly breathless. "Hey, Moon. I'm sorry, I'll be there soon. Give me 20 minutes, okay? Bye." In order to keep her promise, she speedily returns to gathering up her belongings, trying to calm her racing heart. "I have to go." Dr. Onye doesn't move away immediately. Instead, he reaches out and gently grabs her arm, his large hand warm and firm against her skin. The contact sends electricity shooting through her. He stares deeply into her eyes, his thumb absently stroking her wrist. She tries to deflect his gaze, to look anywhere but at those penetrating eyes, but she can't fight it. "I know you're fighting it." His voice is low and intimate, meant only for her. "But when you're ready to stop fighting, you know where I'm at." His hand slides slowly down her arm before releasing her, the loss of contact leaving her skin cold. She watches as he slowly treads out of the room, his broad shoulders filling the doorway. He pauses, looking back at her one last time with a smile that promises this isn't over. She wondered if she would ever have the desire to let her walls down to allow him into her heart. But there's no time to dwell on that now. She has to meet Moon. Occupying her time as she waits for Isi, Moon lingers behind Loveth at the checkout counter. Loveth is the cafe's sweetheart, a young woman in her early 20s with warm caramel skin and kind eyes that crinkle when she smiles. She has a round face with that youthful softness that makes everyone want to protect her. Despite her nonchalant exterior, there's a quiet admiration in the way she watches Moon dance, like she's witnessing something magical. Girl, do you not know how to stand still? How can she when music is shut up within her veins? Free yourself. She reaches for Loveth's hands, wanting to engage her in the dance, but Loveth laughs shyly and instead moves her shoulders slightly to the beat. "What? Is this you, Loveth?" Moon playfully teases her. "When will you teach me those TikTok K-pop moves so I can be popping everywhere?" Moon laughs, humbled by her admiration. "You gonna come to my class?" Without hesitation, Loveth responds, "You gonna set up a class?" The question glitches in Moon's mind, because if she's honest with herself, the answer is no. She had long given up on that dream. She ain't going nowhere. Naomi, the stern-faced manager, mid-40s with pinched expression, severe bun, heavy makeup, stocky build with aggressive stance, carries authority she has to constantly assert, interjects with her unpopular opinion. "What's up, Naomi?" Moon disregards her opinion. "Why aren't you in uniform? I don't pay you to be chit-chatting." Unable to withstand Naomi's presence any longer, Moon slowly locates hers and Isi's favorite corner. "I have an hour before my shift starts, so find someone else to be master over." Her distaste for Naomi has always been personal and will probably always be. So she's learned the art of always putting her in her place, a place where she is not a factor. Isi had wondered if her dislike for Naomi stemmed from Naomi being granted the managerial role instead of Moon, who had served the African cafe for over 5 years and was not even considered. Was she jealous? Jealous of what? Being stuck at a dead-end job? But what was the alternative? She thought to herself. "Sorry, friend." Isi interrupts Moon's trailing thoughts. It's nothing new, so she never holds it against Isi. After all, she's never late whenever she's needed rescuing. I already ordered." This is what makes their friendship work. "Thank you." Isi grew up the only child to a very strict Nigerian father. Mr. Adegogo was an imposing man with traditional values carved into his very being. The kind of father whose love was expressed through rules and expectations rather than words. His presence commanded respect, and his deep voice could silence a room. When he discovered that a budding friendship was brewing between his precious daughter and the orphan child with no solid foundation, he went into protective parent mode and withdrew his child from the public middle school into a private school. But Mr. Adegogo had underestimated the bond Moon and Isi shared. They both knew all too well the pain of loss and how it lingers without permission. Isi lost her mother when she was 10 years old, so they would write letters to each other, sharing stories, from the bounce from one foster home to another, to the pressure of being the perfect daughter to an extremely overprotective father. They had hoped that one day they would both be free from the chains of adults' rules and regulations that kept them apart. I saw someone today. Moon is intrigued. Dr. Heartbreak! Isi smiles shyly, a soft blush creeping across her cheeks. I'm right! Ah, did something happen? Isi says nothing but wears a coy expression. It did, right? Come on, tell me. Isi! She gives in because she knows just how relentless Moon can be. Nothing happened. She's not buying it. Seriously? She scans Isi's face for evidence, but that thing she does with her eyes when she's lying is lacking. What? I'm telling the truth. Well... Moon interjects excitedly. I knew it. Spill. We almost kissed. Why didn't you lick that man's face down? You know that's all you've been thinking about since y'all's date. She was right. Dr. Heartbreak had earned his nickname for a reason. Every woman who crossed his path left with their heart either racing or breaking, depending on whether he chose them, and he'd chosen her. I was saved by the bell. Did she really want to be saved? She asked herself. Oh, my bad, but there's a decline option, so don't try and use me to empower your fears. She had many fears, and being in a committed relationship was on the top of the list. But what she felt for Dr. Heartbreak felt different. She had never felt that way before. As she searched her feelings for the doctor, Loveth interrupts. Here you go, ladies. She is grateful for the interruption. Thanks, Loveth. She returns a gentle smile. The piping hot jollof rice with grilled tilapia fish and fried plantain graces the table. Eat up so you can take your meds. Because she often gets bogged down with work and forgets to eat, and forgets her medication, she doesn't argue. She just nods. When are you signing up for the K-pop 1 dance competition? Moon knows exactly what Isi is doing. Girl, you know those young kids will wipe me out first round. So she lets her off the hook. Moon does what she does best, hide. But her friend supports her even if she disagrees with her, because that's what good friends do, right? But she's Moon. She's supposed to shine bright. I still can't get over the fact that I know all the steps to Lala all because of you, and I can't even get the moves to Candy together. They both let out a loud laugh. What's the joke? It's Zayn. Moon's face lights up at the sound of his voice. He's a vision with smooth, rich brown skin that looks like it's been kissed by the sun. His athletic build is impossible to ignore, with broad shoulders and defined arms. He has full lips that know exactly how to make her melt. His dark eyes hold a protective intensity, but when he looks at Moon, they soften into something tender and intoxicating. He slides into the booth next to her with that easy confidence, the kind that comes from a man secure in who he is. His presence fills the space. Hey, baby. His deep voice rumbles through her, smooth and rich like dark honey. They immediately gravitate toward each other like magnets. He wraps his muscular arm around her waist, pulling her close against his solid chest. She melts into him as their lips meet. Not just a peck, but a real kiss. Slow, deep, lingering. The kind of kiss that makes the rest of the world disappear. His hand cups the back of her neck, fingers tangling gently in her hair. She sighs against his mouth, her hands resting on his chest where she can feel his heartbeat quickening. When they finally pull apart, he keeps her close, his forehead resting against hers for a moment. It had only been a day, but you'd think they hadn't seen each other in months. I missed you. Moon's voice is breathless, her eyes still closed, savoring the moment. Me too. He presses a soft kiss to her temple, then another on her cheek. How was dance? Zayn had long ago made peace with the fact that while she loved him deeply, Dancing would always be the first love of her life, and somehow that made him love her even more. Let's put it this way, I danced. She was never one to burden boyfriends with the messy details of her life. After all, they could use it as ammunition when they needed an escape. And Zayn was aware that he was no exception to the rule, so he just nods, pulling her tighter against him. You good, Isi? She loves to see Moon happy, and on the rare occasion that she would allow a man into her space, Isi was here for it. She smiled, trying not to feel like a third wheel. I am. Just 'cause y'all are in Love Cloud don't mean the rest of us don't exist. They were definitely in Love Cloud and had been floating there for a year now. My bad, we didn't mean to ignore you. Zayn's smile is apologetic, but not sorry enough to let Moon go. I just missed my baby. Moon smiles shyly as he looks at her with an intensity that makes her stomach flip. Love so raw and honest that he couldn't hide it even if he tried. His thumb traces gentle circles on her hip where his hand rests. Their intimate moment is rudely interrupted by Naomi, who could be heard loudly over the Afrobeats music across the serving counter. Time to get to work, Moon. Moon rolls her eyes but doesn't move from Zayn's embrace. I got 15 minutes and I'm using it. She snuggles deeper into his side. The loud sound of Naomi's voice did not instill fear in Moon. It only pointed everyone's attention to Moon, which would be embarrassing for anyone else. But being a dancer, she doesn't embarrass easily. She believes every attention is good, even when it's negative. Turn it into positive. This is why you should enter the competition. Moon knows Isi is right, but she knows how to handle Naomi. Girl, ain't nobody worried about that clown. Isi didn't doubt it. She just knew Moon could be living out her dream. Isi's alarm goes off, alerting her to leave for her next appointment. Guys, I have to go. I've got a 45-minute drive to my pitch. I'll see you lovebirds later. Moon is disappointed. Okay, see you later. As Isi rises from the booth, she stumbles slightly, her vision blurring for just a second. Zayn's reflexes are lightning quick. He reaches out and steadies her with strong, sure hands on her arms. A worried look crosses Moon's face. You good? His voice is gentle but concerned, the protective instinct extending to his girl's best friend. Isi catches her breath and nods at Zayn as he releases her arms, somewhat reassured she could stand on her own. Maybe you should sit for a minute, a worried Moon hopes, already starting to slide out from Zayn's embrace. But with a smile, Isi tries to ease Moon's fears. I'm fine. I'll take care of the bill and sit in the car for a minute. It's just the Texas heat. Moon wasn't buying it. You still haven't taken your meds. Can you do it now, please? Trying to rush off, she blows a kiss to Moon. I will, Mother, in the car. I really gotta go. Bye, Zayn. Moon's eyes trace Isi as she walks to the checkout counter, worry etched across her face. Yeah, later, Isi. Zayn notices the worry darkening Moon's eyes. He has never understood the bond they share, being polar opposites, but he knew that if anything ever happened to Isi, it would break Moon completely. Hey, he gently takes her chin, turning her face toward him. Look at me, please. She slowly returns her focus to him, and he sees the fear swimming in her eyes. She'll be fine. She said it's a 45-minute drive, so give her 45 minutes, then check on her, yeah? His voice is calm, reassuring, the steady anchor she needs. Moon nods in agreement, but the worry doesn't completely fade. I miss my smile. He traces her bottom lip with his thumb, coaxing the corners of her mouth upward. He knew exactly how to steady her, how to pull her back from the edge of anxiety. She wondered why she had fought so hard to keep her distance from him when he first shot his shot. The reason was still at the back of her mind, something he couldn't change about himself. But he keeps proving her wrong, keeps showing up, keeps loving her through her walls and fears. Suddenly, there is a loud, frightening scream from Loveth at the checkout counter. Moon! Moon's heart skips a beat. The worst has happened. And all eyes are on Moon.